You're
All
good,
right.
Madeline. You're good, Coach.
How great is this for college basketball? Two great fan bases that came and sold out the gym, cheered hard for their teams, and these guys on both sides gave them everything that ticket is worth and more. And so, I know there's a lot of good basketball right now in the Triangle. We're just glad to be part of it. It's a really good team. Those guards are tough. We know that. The development of their post-game has gotten better, made them even better. And it was just who could make one more play. And we did. So two good teams. We might get another shot at each other in the tournament. We'll see. But we're certainly thrilled to have come away with a victory today.
What can you tell us about Alyssa?
Yeah. I haven't even seen her. Literally, I've not even seen her face. So I don't know. I know nothing.
Grace, you hadn't, I think you were shooting 64% from the line going into today, and you hadn't gotten there a ton. Kind of what was your mindset going through your mind in those seconds before you took those last two?
I mean, not much was going through my mind. I think out of all the free throws I've taken, those were the ones I was most calm, surprisingly. but no, it's just I was trusting, just thinking about two dribbles and I shoot my shot every time. I know my teammates had trusted me, my coaches had trusted me. It's just time to knock them down.
Why were those your calmest free throws?
That's a great question. No, I don't know. Maybe because the crowd was loud too, so maybe that helped. But no, I just trusted myself with it.
Big shots.
Yeah.
Yes.
What was the final play that Alyssa did that drive by Grace? What were you looking for there?
I wanted to put it in her hands and get herself to the rim, and the refs is right near me. So if I felt like I didn't like the look, I had a timeout to go. But I told her just attack. You play. I will call it if I need it. Right. And she got herself all the way to the rim. It's just a senior doing what we've done this whole time is we just need people to step up and make a play. And she did that, got herself to the free throw line, and then stepped up and made both. I mean that's. But we wanted Reniya on one side, kind of use her as a decoy and get it to Grace and let her run up the sideline.
And then the defense on their final play.
Yeah, so we came out in zone. He called timeout. So then we came out in man until the ref handed them the ball and we went back zone. Because you guys might remember last year, or Isaiah went left and got that lefty layup to beat us, right? And so I wasn't giving that up. I don't know what I was going to give up, but I wasn't giving that up, right? She's too good a player, hard to stay in front. So we wanted to have just bodies already stationary.
Courtney, you talked about needing players to step up. How big was Lainey Durant, both offensively and defensively, just that fourth quarter stretch?
Yeah, I mean, all of them. I mean, I think, we got just enough. I mean, Trey's first game back. I know she didn't shoot it as well as she can, but she gives you 11 minutes. I mean, you got, Blanca was able to go in and provide value, and, obviously what Lainey's fearlessness and has really stayed locked in throughout her journey. Grace was huge. I would have thought she played more minutes, so that's how big you were. Like I said, we just got just enough from everybody.
What were the challenges when you lose Alyssa after 2.5 minutes? I mean, you went to many different lineups I haven't seen.
Nor me, one of the things that was hard about losing Alyssa is I didn't know what happened, and I still don't, right? So I didn't know if she was coming back second quarter. Did we just need to? And so then they said at halftime, they're like, no, she's out for the game, and then I knew at least. But Alyssa's been here for 5 years, right? So she's played I don't really play a lot of possessions without Alyssa Usby, right? And so if we didn't have her, we would have practiced something perhaps that would be relevant to not having Alyssa Usby, because she's your rim runner, she's your rebound cleanup, she's your heart and soul in a lot of ways, right? And so when she went out, it was like, okay, so now we don't have her. But then you look around at who you have, and that's why you build a team, and it's why I did say at one point, Alyssa wants nothing more than you to win this game, whether she's playing or not, and they found a way.
Reniya, you hit some big shots early.
Boom.
You hit some big shots late. I know last year you didn't get to play in this game here at Carmichael. What got into you today?
I mean, obviously it's a rivalry. I think we hate state, so I mean, I had to come out and play my best and my hardest. And I think, salute to my teammates. I really love them, and I wanted to play hard for them. And I think that's what I did, especially Alyssa, since she wasn't playing with us. So that's what I did it for tonight.
Courtney, what does it speak to the resilience of this team? You lose Alyssa, obviously, you're trailing, you come back, you're down
6 with a minute 50.
Exactly. How does the flows of this team speak to the team's resilience?
That. I mean, how resilient they are is not something you draw up on the board, right? It's talk about bringing rocks to rock fights, right? And, had you told me that Alyssa would be out and that India would foul out and that Lexi would sprain her ankle and we'd still win, I would have been surprised, right? And so with a lot going against them, they just kept going. And I give a lot of credit. These guys have the ball in their hands a lot. And, teams take on their personality of their point guards and their coach, right? And, there's a resilience to these two that they're really shed onto the team.
Reniya, what was the talk among the team when you know you're going to be without Alyssa and just the rally?
I didn't even know she was like not coming back.
Right, but you didn't see her on the floor.
Yeah, so I'm like, we have to rebound. She's
she
like
on
a
the bench?
rebounding machine. No, so I was
No,
like,
she
wait,
wasn't.
why we not rebounding the ball? Because Alyssa's not in. So it was just a realization that like she's a big part of why we win games. Like she gets so many rebounds and she plays so hard, and we miss her like dearly, and we aren't going to miss her. So yeah.
Grace, what did you see when you coming down the court in that possession where you attacked the rim? And what was your thought process there? I know the crossover move. What were you trying to get out of that play?
So she told me to dribble up the sideline. I dribbled up the sideline, and I stopped for a second.
Hesitated for a second,
I
and
hesitated
I
for a
said,
second.
"Go."
She said go, and I took off one again. That was my thought process. I went down. I saw. I forgot her number, but I saw her in the paint, but she wasn't helping. And I stopped for 1 second, and I heard Banghart say go, and I went again. That was my thought process.
Did you ever look to pass, or do you know at what point did you know you were taking all the way to the rim?
Oh, when I took my second dribble after the hezzy, I knew there was it was not a smart decision to pass it.
Yeah.
And what about after you made the 2 free throws? What was going through your head at that time?
So awesome.
It was like, did you hear it? It was insane. But also
When
we
you
didn't
made
hear
the first one, I was like, guys, don't make it sound like it's such a big deal.
No, I was like, no overtime.
No, really, that's what I was thinking after the first one.
Yeah.
Reniya's like, I can't go another 5.
No.
After the first one, that's what I thought too. But the second one was like, there's still 5 seconds, we need to stop. But yeah, it was fun. It was a good environment.
Courtney, usually when you lose the rebounding battle by 20, that's usually not a game you win.
No.
But I was thinking about, Wes just said he thinks this is the best defensive team you guys have had here. Do you feel the same way? And that feels like that was probably the key to the game was your defense.
Yeah, this team is really good defensively, and I hate to say it, I just think we can be better defensively. I thought there were some possessions where we allowed them to be on islands. Our tags were but yes, this is a really solid defensive team, and that's without Alyssa, don't forget. And this is bringing back a Final Four team who brought back most of their offense. And so Alyssa's such an elite defender, and she lets you switch everything that typically she is partly why we're so good defensively. So we learned a lot about our team tonight. I think they learned a lot about themselves, and they learned a lot about us. But I see on Friday, when did we play? Thursday? And we came out on Friday, and these guys, they defended in practice. Like they are so, I have to, basically our sport performance team tells me when to stop, because they won't stop on their own, right? But yeah, this defensive effort against a team like this team's a top 10 for a reason. It was pretty remarkable.
Duke is a good defensive team, and State scored more than 80 points on them.
Yeah.
How do you put them down to scoring in the 60s?
Yeah, part of it is that they just got out in transition against Duke the entire time. I made it really simple. Like, we have to take away their transition and make them play against our quarter court. Have to, 1,000 times. And then that was basically the key to the game. We cannot allow them to go out in transition and make them play against our set defense. I trust our set defense. I trust our coverages. We were willing to switch around. We were willing to trap at times. And they're fun to coach, as I can say, hey, 10, this is what I want this possession. Hey, Grace. And then they can get the team to change on the fly. But we took away her transition, quite honestly. And that, I think probably straight effort, because I wouldn't say we scored it as much either. But our bigs got back and protected the rim. Lexi's effort, these guys' effort, they don't jog. They just don't jog. And when you watch back games, there's jogging. And those jogging possessions cost you games. These guys are just not joggers.
Coach, you elected for that bigger lineup at times with Blanca and Maria. What was the rationale with that, and also just your preparation for this game with State being, the nation's leader in fouls per game?
Yeah. Well, partly India got in such foul trouble, so we had to go to the next option, right? And so we went big to give India some rest and to let some time go off the clock, and also to secure the rebound, which we did. Did a pretty good job of that. So that was good. And then the fouls, meaning they don't foul? Is that what you're asking?
No, they do foul.
Oh.
That State fouls, they lead the nation in fouls per game.
No, I think it's the
Fewest
opposite.
fouls.
Yeah, it's fewest.
Fewest fouls, sorry.
Yeah. So they don't foul. Yeah, I felt like we played off two. That was an environment that, I thought there were some times that we didn't get the whistle when I thought we could have had it, right? But They don't give you points at the paint. They don't give you free throws. They just don't. And so the fact that we even took 13 is, or how many we take, 16 is pretty remarkable.
You had 6,300 fans here today, a whole lot. Top 16 reveal came out today. It's probably too early to think about this, but are you thinking about what this building will be like if you
Oh my
host
gosh.
NCAA tournament games here?
I did say, which I don't usually, I told them before the game that no matter what happens in these next 2 hours, please take a moment just to look around at what you've earned, right? This is an environment that's really special. There are people from some of the biggest donors at the school are changing their plans to be at our women's basketball games. And so I wanted them all because I've learned that I don't do that enough. And so I did the same thing. I just took a minute to be like, okay. And I get the whole anthem to do that, right? And then, these guys, the Lions, I mean, this is a place that, just like State and just like Duke, I mean, there's a reason these teams are good. This is a place where basketball is adored. And if I don't care that we're all so close, if the teams are good enough to host, they should host. And if we're all trying to save money, great. ESPN can just send one crew down and they can do all the games. But yeah, the crowd was awesome. You saw my kids and their friends all wearing they saw you guys wear those stupid overalls, so they wanted them. So it's just fun. These guys are really getting into this team. It's fun.
Reniya, you seem to take control, right? You had the first 8 points and really went off to a really good start. How important was that for you to really take charge?
I'm just going to say, if your hands are down, in my face, I'm going to shoot the ball. And I think Zoe Brooks was guarding me. Her hands were down. I just shot the ball. So I think I was just taking what she was giving me, honestly.
And they played you more tightly in the second half, didn't they?
Yes, they put Sanaya Rivers on me, which she had length, but I don't really think that disrupted me either. So
She's so good at finding separation. And then she's so shifty. I asked the practice guys who's the hardest kid to guard, and they said Reniya. She's so shifty. So if you get close enough, then she does the next thing, right? She's so fast, she's so shifty. I guess pick your poison.
Grace, when you were told in the timeout that you would be the player to get the ball on the last play, what were your thoughts? If you ever been in a situation like that, and if you ever hit free throws as big as that?
My thought was I just gotta go. That was my only thought. I mean, like 11 seconds at the end of the day, I had to go. I couldn't be passive and pass up a shot. But I think I've been in a situation before. This is my 5th year playing, so I was confident in myself. But no, my only thought was it was time to go. Yeah.
Lexi hit that big one to win one. You hit that big one to win
Yeah.
one. Alyssa just does Alyssa.
Any other questions? Great, thanks everyone.
Boom, team, boom.
proud of you.